strict monitoring, living in a company-owned condo and working as a client liaison with severely limited authority. The prenup I'd mentioned proved prophetic. Dad filed for divorce citing abandonment and infidelity, leaving her with only what the separation agreement we'd crafted allowed. She fought it initially, threatening to expose the company's fraud, until my lawyers reminded her that she'd be the first target of any investigation. It wasn't justice for Mom. Nothing could be. But it was the beginning of something she'd wanted for me. Control of my own future, protection of the legacy she'd built, accountability for those who had betrayed her. The search for definitive proof about Mom's illness continued quietly. I hired specialists to re-examine tissue samples the hospital had preserved, ordered new tests on items from her vanity that I'd kept untouched, interviewed medical staff who had treated her. The results remained frustratingly inconclusive. Suspicious patterns, but no smoking gun. Dad maintained his innocence on that front, even in private meetings with his attorneys where he admitted to everything else. The cancer was real, he insisted. I never touched her medication, never altered her food. I wanted her gone, yes. I'm guilty of wishing her dead, but not of making it happen. I didn't know whether to believe him. Part of me needed him to be guilty of everything. A complete monster whose destruction I could pursue without reservation. Another part desperately wanted this one line to remain uncrossed, preserving some tiny fragment of the father I'd once loved. The company flourished under new management. We unwound Dad's complicated schemes, recovered most of the diverted funds, rebuilt client relationships damaged by his shortcuts. I worked 16-hour days, sleeping on the office couch more often than at home. The house no longer felt like one. I sold it 6 months after taking control, moving into a downtown apartment within walking distance of the office. Dad relocated to a smaller house in the suburbs, stripped of his country club memberships and most of his social circle, when the carefully worded but transparent company statement made it clear he'd been forced out. Last week, I visited Mom's grave for the first time since reading her letter. I did what you asked, I told her, placing wildflowers against the stone. The company is safe. Your legacy is protected. I wish you could see it. As I turned to leave, I noticed a familiar figure watching from a distance, Cassandra, clutching a small bouquet of her own. Our eyes met across the cemetery. She didn't approach but nodded once before walking away. Some lessons take years to teach. Some gifts keep giving long after they're open. Every Mother's Day since then, I send Cassandra the same thing. A single photograph of Mom, smiling in her garden, with a note that reads, "Thinking of you today." She never responds, but I know she understands. It's the only language we have left. And it says everything that matters.